viewers, as you view this episode, like it and subscribe it. In this series of Making Life a Stressless Living, I owe you the pleasure to present you a topic of public importance entitled Self-Esteem. It seems rather difficult for many people not to know that their self-esteem is a real problem of their lives. People tend to blame others for their woes in life without understanding or knowing that their real problem is their self-esteem. It is on the basis of this I decided that we will present to you this topic to be able to address issues that pertain to our life. However, it is important to say, what is self-esteem? Self-esteem is a self-evaluation of one's own self, which encompasses belief, values, feelings, decision-making, and choices. But in this particular episode, we shall be considering self-esteem on the template of belief of yourself. Belief has to do with a knowledge or experience about yourself. And we are going to consider this topic of belief on the basis of what do you think about yourself? What do you see about yourself? What do you hear about yourself? What do you say about yourself? And how do you feel about yourself? These features are predominantly important to the direction of your life. As you may know, what you think about yourself has a lot to do with how you act or behave. What you think about yourself has quite a lot of things to do with the way God sees you too. How you think about yourself has a lot to do with how you see the day as you wake up and how you behave. Your thought line works in response to the way you think about yourself. If you think about yourself to be important, definitely you will become important. If you think yourself to be less important, definitely you'll become less important. This is why the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so it is. So what you are thinking about yourself is what matters about what happens to you. Like I said, success is not an external factor, but in the thoughts you embrace. So what you think about yourself is important as to what happens to your life. Number two, how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself is very important to what happens to you. The way you see yourself will determine the way things will happen to you. Each of us have our mental spread. How we think, whether low or high, great or noble, base or noble. How it all depends on how you see yourself. So how you see yourself has a lot to do with what happens to you. It has a lot to do with the way God sees you too. Some people see themselves as nothing. Some people see themselves as they are dying. It is not that sickness that is in you that kills you. It is not the sickness that is killing you, but the way you see yourself in that sickness is what matters. It is not that calamity that happens, things that happen to you, the event of your life, that is really your problem. But your response is your problem. How you see yourself in that situation, in that circumstances, has a lot to do with how you get out of the situation or you remain in that vicious circle. Let me give you a narration. The 12 spies that Moses sent to spy the land, the promised land, they came back after their reconnaissance and said to the congregation of the children of Israel, we saw the giants. We saw the children of Anak. They were so big, they were so mighty, but to us we were like grasshoppers unto them. And when they gave this report, everybody was crying. And God says, well done, You have well seen. What you have seen is what will happen to you. You've seen yourself as grasshoppers, and so shall it be. And these people, these children of Israel who went to spy the land and said they saw themselves as grasshoppers, God said to them, because you say you are a grasshopper, you will not enter the land. And people from 20 years and above all died in the wilderness as grasshoppers because they saw themselves as grasshoppers. So your relationship with God will determine what are you saying. If you're seeing yourself as important and you pray, God will listen to you. But if you see yourself as less important and you are asking for God's blessing, God can't bless you. There's no way you can be like a grasshopper and you relate with a God that is not a grasshopper. There's no way you can be an idiot and you relate to a God that is not an idiot. Your self-esteem matters as much as what you want in life. And number 3, we talked about what you hear. What you hear is very, very important. What you are hearing internally about yourself is very, very important to how you move on your life. The angle you see your life is the angle of what you think about yourself, the angle about what you see yourself, the angle about how you hear, the things you hear about yourself has a lot to do with how your life will be. Let me give you an instance. We wake up in the morning, there are headline news that pops up in our mind daily. Those headline news that pops up in our mind, if you don't take into consideration to know to keep yourself off from this news, some of these headline news in your mind, some will tell you it is not well with you. Some headline news will come up to your mind. You say you're going to die this morning in that sickness. Those headline news, I can't do it. I am not able to. I cannot. I am insufficient. I am unable. These are headline news. These news are not meant for you. They are not meant to be for you because it is wearing you down. These are the headline news that keeps you where you are. These are the headline news that keep you sitting down where you are, even in that sickness, even in that situation. The headline news that tells you, I can go and rob someone, I can go and kidnap somebody, I can do some prostitution and make some money. This is what makes you do what you are doing. If you have this headline news coming to you and you don't respond to it, you just walk yourself out of it. Your response will determine whether you're going to do it. Oh, come on, you're going to die this morning. You say, I'm not going to die. I'm a child of the living God. You're going to go out for kidnapping. You say, I'm not going to kidnap someone today because I'm the child of God. I'm not cut out for that kind of life. I am not a kidnapper. Oh no, you go do prostitution and make some money. You say, I am not cut out for that life. It's not my life to live that way. You are the one to appropriate the knowledge of what you want. Those are the reason why sometimes when people live their life in abstract thinking in terms of thinking abstract terms, or thinking in a way that their thinking has nothing to hold on, definitely they run into many confusion in life. They run into many trouble. They run into a lot of things because of the things they are hearing about themselves, because of what people are talking about to yourself, and you're hearing what they're saying, and you're hearing what you're hearing what you're feeling inside you. It brings you down. Let me tell you something. We all have our various way we think. We all have our mental spreads. We think the way we want to think. But let me tell you something. It is not those things you think about yourself that is really you. Some of your informations that are unsubstantial because you have not really verified it. You have not really based your information on something. Listen, it is when you have your thoughts sway in the worldview of things, you are definitely going to have yourself in confusion. It's definitely going to have your thoughts, your life in mystery. You're going to definitely have your life in difficulties. But when your thoughts are framed by the word of God, definitely you can expect great things happening around you, because you are basing your thoughts on the promises of God, basing your beliefs on the promises of God, looking at yourself and say, I am a child of the living God. I am an ambassador of the living God. I am a channel of which God demonstrates his love to the earth. I am a salt of the earth. I am so important. And that's how it's going to work with you. At 4, how you feel about yourself. How do you feel about yourself? It's very important. How you feel about yourself. How do you feel about yourself? Is one of the key things you must look at. As you wake up in the morning, you ask yourself, is my thought leading me to bondage, or is my thought leading me to deliverance? I used to really think a lot of people don't know that their thought is what leads them to bondage. Your thought can lead you to bondage. It's your thought that really leads you to bondage. And when you talk about deliverance, it is your thought that will deliver you. For example, if you have a problem and your thought is hang up on that problem, you begin to think you are helpless. You begin to think you can't know what to do. You are in bondage. Your thought has put you into bondage. No matter any prayer they pray, it's not going to work. And this is why Jesus said in Matthew, he said, if you say unto this mountain, be that removed, be that cast into the sea, and you doubt not, those things that you pray, you do not doubt, and you believe it, so it will come to you. Why did he say so? He's saying so because he knows the place of the thought. That when your thought leads you to bondage, there's nobody that can bring you out of that bondage. Even if you like, pray from now till tomorrow, you can get out of that bondage. Your thought can lead you to deliverance by seeing things the way they are, by understanding things the way they are, by walking it the way they are. Your thought is the central thing that leads you to God. It's your thought that leads you to faith. So how you feel in that situation you are matters how much you get out of that situation, how soon you get out of that situation. It is your response that matters, like I said earlier. It is not what is happening to you that is a problem, but your response, how you feel in that trouble. I am capable of getting out of this problem. I feel great. I feel good. Yes, the problems are there, but you tell yourself, I feel great. The problems are there, you tell yourself, I'm feeling good. The problems are there, you tell yourself, I'm moving. The problems are there, you tell yourself, I don't see this problem. They are not important. They are not. The way you respond to the problem will take you to the next level of your life. The way you respond to the issues and circumstances of your life is what matters. It's not the problem, because problems and troubles and circumstances will definitely come your way. They are necessary things. They are necessary evil. They will come your way. But how you respond is what I'm talking about. How do you feel in that trouble? How do you feel in that sickness? How do you feel in that situation? Let me remind you, talking about sickness, because a lot of people are complaining they are sick, they don't know what to do. A lot of people say they don't have money, that's why they're going into problem. The circumstances is driving a lot of people to sin. No. You don't have that excuse. You are the captain of your life. You are the captain of your life. You are the one to steer your life. It's not circumstances that is going to steer your life. Sickness is just something that has to do with the mind. The mind. When your mind is feeling that sickness, your mind allows it, receives it. Your mind is receptive to it. The sickness will build up in your body. But when your mind says, I reject it, I don't want it, your response is what I'm talking about. Your response in that situation, your response, how you responding to that situation is what matters. It's not what comes your way. That is why self-esteem is very important. How you see yourself, how you evaluating yourself, how do you consider yourself, how do you really look at yourself. It's what matters. It's not the problem. It's not a sickness. It's not a situation. You can get out of it. You can get out of it, because I tell you something. You are a child of the living God. You are great. You are awesome. You are made with great purpose. You can recreate your life. You can shape your destiny. You can remold your life. Wherever you are standing today, whatever situation you are standing, whatever situation you are going through, isn't the problem. It's not the situation you're going through is the problem, but you are the problem. You are the problem, because the way you feel about yourself, the way you see yourself, the way you hear things about yourself, the way you think about yourself in that situation is what matters. So feel good. Stimulate your life with better words. I am going. somewhere. I am moving forward. I am moving forward. And let me tell you finally, what you say about yourself is very important. Words are the real life of every man. Words are the demons of your life. When we talk about evil altars, you talk about shrines, you talk about thrones, you talk about principalities. It is important you know that your words are your evil altars. Your words are your shrines. Your words are the thrones. Your words you speak of yourself are the real principalities. You may not know this, but that is the truth. Your words, if it is negative, they become evil altars. They become evil the shrines. They become the thrones. They become the principalities that chase you, that goes after you, that goes after you every day. Because as you keep fortifying them by daily using of that negative words, the demons of these things are attracted, and they begin to chase after you. Your words matter so much to what happens to your life. Be careful what the way you speak about yourself. Choose your words before you speak. Choose your word before you say it to yourself. I really want to say, before you tell someone, choose your word, because in choosing your word, you will know the kind of word you speak to somebody. Words like you are an idiot, it simply means you are the one that is an idiot. Words like you are stupid simply means you are the one that is stupid, because you cannot tell someone you're stupid when in actual fact that is your thought, and that makes you stupid, and that is why your life is not working. You tell someone that you're hopeless, no problem. The person is not attached to what you are saying because he has not given you his consent. He's not hopeless or he's not stupid. You that had the thought that think stupid, you are the one that is stupid, and that's why your life is not working. You need to choose your words. You need to choose what you say to people. You need to choose what you tell yourself. You need to choose your word, and that's how you will build on. Then you see your life changing. It's not just the way to talk, it's just how to talk. You have to know how to say things, and say things that will glorify your body. That's where self-esteem comes in. How do you see yourself? How do you evaluate yourself? How do you understand your own self? This is just what I'm talking about. But if you have no very good understanding about your self-esteem, you will see yourself living a miserable life. So I'm going to tell you something. I want you to look at the words you speak, and be careful the kind of words you speak daily. These words matters. So in this episode, like I said, we are actually coming to round up on this belief about ourselves. I know next week we'll be considering our self-esteem on the template of values, and we will teach you a lot of things that you need to know about yourself. It is not just the degrees you possess. It's not your family background. It's not all about your connection and contact that makes your life. It is your thoughts. It's your thought that you impress. It is the thought that you impress that matters. You are made up by the thought. You are just made up by your thought. Everything that happens to you, it's your thought that is giving the problem. It's your thought that is taking you to the line of success. It's your thought that is keeping you where you are. I do not subscribe that someone is after you. I do not subscribe that sickness can leave you. I do not subscribe that you can't get out of that situation. All you need to do is to put your thought on a reverse gear. Change the thought that brings you to that problem. Change the thinking that brings you to that situation. Change the thinking that makes you to have that situation or problem that you're thinking you're going through. Change it. How do you change it? How do you change it? Think good of yourself. How do you change it? Begin to think good about yourself. See yourself as important. See yourself as something. See yourself as good. Change from the thinking you have. Because it is the former thinking that led you to where you are. So just change it. Tell yourself, I'm changing from my level of thinking. Maybe my level of thinking was low, I'm going high now. Maybe my level of thinking was big, I'm going noble now. Maybe my level of thinking was little, I'm going great now. This is just how you can change the situation of your life. This is how you can change the problem of your life. Just don't remain where you were when you created that problem. Change your thought line. And the moment you change your thought line and you go back to God and pray, your life will not be the same. But if you are in that situation, no matter how you pray, God is not going to answer you. He will answer you, of course. Let me just be simple. But you can receive. It's like a man who thinks he's a poor man and asking God to give him a car. The question is, you have prayed. You prayed that you need a car. But in your heart, you thinking poor. How will you receive the car? How will you get the car? Because in your heart, you are even asking yourself, how can I maintain the car? So it contradicts your prayer. Oh God, I want you to open doors of blessings for me. But in your mind, you think you don't need these blessings. Something tells you, I don't need it. I'm just a common man, nothing real about me. How do you want this prayer to answer? I think I'm telling you something, that you need to change the thinking you have. You need to change the way you think. If you want success, don't keep looking on external factors. Don't just hang on external factors. Think about you. The thoughts you have. These are the things that could bring you success. Please, if you want to reach me the next time, or maybe you want to call me to hear from me, or maybe you want to have something you want us to talk to you about, you can send me an SMS via 081 622 18631. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless you real good.